fecundity of my mind is quite terrifying sometimes.
Yes, it would be if you hadn't forgotten something.
What?
Well, you can't just chuck a dollop of wool onto a loom and dash off a suit, you know. It has to be spun first.
For which you need a spinning wheel.
Which we haven't got.
True.
Give in?
Margo's getting one.
You toad! You knew that all the time, didn't you?
Yes?
What on earth does Margo want with a spinning wheel?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? She's going to put it in the corner of her lounge and say, how quaint, how quaint. Doesn't alter the fact that it's a spinning wheel which we can borrow from time to time.
You've got criminal tendencies, you have.
Don't drag up my prison record. Didn't I suffer enough?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about conning Margo into getting something just because you want it. You'll be asking Jerry to buy a tractor next.
It wasn't like that at all. Across my heart and hope tonight, it wasn't like that at all. She saw it in the shop and decided to buy it before the thought of getting a loom ever crossed my mind. Promise?
It's a bit sneaky, though, isn't it?
A bit sneaky, yes.
And I don't suppose you told Margo that you were getting a loom.
A sneak wouldn't, would he? No, I thought I'd let her get it back home, get bored with it, and we'd step in. She's getting it tomorrow.
I thought you said you'd already got it.
Well, she has in so many words. She's put a deposit down on it. It's just a matter of ordering Jerry to sign the cheque and hey-ho. What?
Would you hit a woman? In glasses?
Certainly not. What have you done?
Well, I had this little chat with Jerry, and I advised him to clamp down on Margo's spending.
Take those glasses off.
Well, how was I to know? It was just bad timing, Tom, that's
You will
all.
interfere.
But Harco's talking.
All right, all right. All right, don't panic. I might not have to beat you up. On the other hand, I think I will. What am I talking about? Good Lord. Well, how could Jerry possibly clamp down on Margo, eh? He might do a little huff and a little puff, then she'll blow his house down, and that's that.
Good evening, Barbara. Good evening, Tom.
Hello, Margo. What are you doing here?
I've left Jerry.
Why?
Because he wouldn't write a cheque for my spinning wheel.
Eh?
How dare he talk to me like that? I will not be harangued about the financial climate. I will not have his bank statements thrust under my nose. And above all, I will not be thrown about my own house like some rag doll.
What did he do?
He shook me by the elbows.
So, you're not getting the spinning wheel, then?
Oh, I know what's happened. He's been talking to somebody. It's those chaps at the office. The chaps. A few gin and tonics to give them a bit of Dutch courage, and then they come home and expect to trample all over the little woman. Well, not me.
Did Jerry actually refuse to sign the cheque, or did he sign it first and then have a moan?
He wouldn't even pick up the pen, so I packed my bag and left.
Oh, Margo, where are you going to stay?
Oh. That wretched argument has made me forget my manners. I'd rather hope.
But of course you can stay here. But you haven't actually left Jerry, have you?
I don't know what I've done at the moment, Barbara.
I'll tell you what. If I were you, I'd buy the spinning wheel with my own money just to spite him.
Tom! Look, Margo, what about a bite to eat? We were just going to have supper.
No, thank you. Experience has taught me that food and naked emotions don't mix. I'll go straight to my room if you don't mind.
Yes, of course. I'll show you up.
Good night, Tom.
Good night, Margo. Don't use the wardrobe, will you? It's full of onions.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom! 9:30. 11's.
I've been thinking, you know. They might have to get that spinning wheel. It might have been a non-returnable deposit. The shop may consider that the sale has been made.
You have got a spinning wheel fixation, you have.
Well, we need it. I've got to be made to feel better about buying that loom somehow.
Oh, I do hope Margo and Jerry get back together again soon.
What are you worried about them for?
Well, I've got to be made to feel better about stirring Jerry up to mutiny in the first place.
Well, that's what you are, a rotten little stirrer. Oh, don't worry. It's only one of their little spats. You don't want to get taken in by Margo's impression of a battered wife last night.
No, I suppose not.
Still in bed, is she?
No, she's not. She's gone out. Perhaps she's gone back to Jerry.
No. Nobody in. I've just been over there.
Oh, you just happened to pop over, did you?
Yeah. See old Jerry, see how he was.
Try to talk Jerry into getting a spinning wheel?
It might have entered the conversation, I don't know.
What, like, hello, Jerry, what about getting that spinning wheel?
Something like that.
You know what you are, don't you?
Clever.
A steaming hypocrite.
I think you'd better explain yourself, my girl.
Well, honestly, you're always whittling away at Jerry about Margo's overspending. Then as soon as it comes to anything that you want...
That is the principle of shifting principles.
Snake in the grass.
Jerry Stirrer.
Rat face.
Fatty.
I love these little chats over tea, don't you?
Morning. Is Margo about?
No, Jerry, she's gone out.
Oh, well, assuming that she'll come back here, I suppose this is the best place to leave the peace offering. The spinning wheel.
Jerry, why can't you stick to your guns just for once?
Well, that's what the Russians did at Balaclava. Look what happened to them.
Well, you could have held on a little bit longer. Margo would have come round in the end.
Maybe, Barbara. It's a very empty house without her. I'm working awfully hard at the moment. When I get home, house is warm and comfortable. She's always there. The dinner's prepared, the wine's chambrade. She's wearing a nice gown. I miss her. I've got 3 Polish buyers coming to dinner next week, and I don't know what Poles eat.
Well, I suppose it's not a totally unconditional surrender.
I don't think you should be quite so ungracious, Barbara. I mean, I think Jerry's doing the right thing. I mean, what nicer way to say sorry than to buy me, Margo, a lovely spinning wheel.
Well, I'd better be going off to work. What do you think the best thing to do is, leave her a note or telephone later?
No need, she's here.
Oh. Hello, darling.
Hello, Barbara. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Margo. Where have you been?
Well, from the abuse hurled at me by my husband last night, I was given the impression that from now on I was required to pay for everything that I use in the house out of my own pocket.
I didn't say anything like that. I mean,
Even if it meant my going out to scrub floors. So I've got a job.
Scrubbing floors?
No. 2 afternoons a week in a florist's.
That wouldn't keep you in hand cream.
No, you can't go lugging great heavy flowers about.
I thought you were my friends.
Margo,
Yes?
I'm sorry. And about that spinning wheel...
I might not want it now.
Margo!
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. I was being childish.
Sorry about all this.
No, it's lovely.
I want to say something, Jerry, and I must say it in front of Tom and Barbara.
What?
I said a very unkind thing about you last night. I accused you of being mean and miserly. Now, I know you were hurting my elbows at the time, but there was no excuse. I was unjust.
It's all over now?
No, it must be said. You may be bombastic at times, but you are never less than generous, even over-generous.
That's all right, darling.
As a matter of fact, it wouldn't do me any harm at all if sometimes you put your foot down and said, "No, Margo, you may not have such and such." I'm very grateful. It's such a pretty thing.
Hey! I've just had a great idea, Barbara.
What?
Well, Margo's got a spinning wheel. Now, if only we could lay our hands on a loom, we could weave our own stuff. What do you think?
I think you leave me behind sometimes.
Do I know? What about it, Jerry? You wouldn't mind if we borrowed it from time to time?
Well, you better ask Margo. It's her spinning wheel.
What about it, Margo?
Sorry, what about what?
You wouldn't mind if we borrowed that now and again?
Why should you want to borrow this?
To spin wool.
You see, Tom has just had this wonderful idea about getting a loom, you see.
I didn't see that this would be of any use to you.
Well, you can leave the technicalities to me, Margo. I know all about spinning. The wheel doesn't work.
I know, it's not supposed to.
You only wanted it as an ornament, didn't you, Margo?
Originally, yes. Then I talked to the lady in the shop, and I realized it had an additional and totally unexpected charm.
Like what?
I'll show you.
I say, just as well you didn't get a loom first, isn't it, Tom?